So, tea time talks. So this is another live. I thought this would be a good time and a good opportunity to talk about, why and how me and my partner moved to Chiang Mai, Thailand. So I'm going to cover just a few points, and this could be for anyone out there who maybe has never been to Thailand before or is considering where to move. The world is becoming increasingly wild and expensive. And so maybe Thailand is worth considering. And so I'm going to cover some of the points that, why I'm really attracted to Thailand, always have been. And, a lot of the whys actually end up into the hows, right? So when I was writing my little list, the whys actually end up into the hows. So I first came to Thailand when I was like 21 years old, and I just was really attracted to it from the beginning. And one of the main things I realized over time was that it's a Buddhist country. I read somewhere that Thailand is the most Buddhist country in the world. So Buddhism, I've just always been attracted to Buddhism, right? I grew up in a Christian society. My parents weren't very strongly religious. We went, it was at school and stuff like that, but it just didn't really click with me that well when I was young. And then when I got a bit older, teenage years, and I started reading and learning about other, world cultures and religions, Buddhism just made sense to me. And I've always been attracted to Buddhism. Maybe it has something to do with like a past life. Like I do feel very comfortable in Buddhism. And even with meditation, when I started doing meditation when I was like 20 years old, it came very easily to me. And it still does, like I find it quite easier to sit still and close my eyes. I actually find it quite preferable, actually, than sort of being busy in the world, And so I always wanted to live in a place where I could just, sit cross-legged and, meditate, and for it not to be weird or woo-woo or to be judged by the people around. And this is definitely something you can do in Thailand. You can just sit anywhere and start meditating, and it's not unusual. So this was a big thing. Buddhism is a really powerful influence, and it really sets up the context of society. And of course, it's not to say that Buddhism and Thailand is perfect. They still have their problems with, corruption and, litter and poverty and education. However, the religious background creates a peaceful environment, And that leads me into another reason why Thailand's awesome, is because there's hardly any crime. Sure, there's some petty crime in the big tourist areas, like everywhere, really, around the bars, stuff. You're going to get more crime. But generally, especially in Chiang Mai, there's hardly any crime. There's hardly any violence. I've left my keys in my scooter numerous times, or my phone in my scooter numerous times, and it's always been there when I go back to it, right? So Thailand, Chiang Mai in particular, has little to no crime. It's got no guns, right? People don't have guns. And that's part of, it also ties into Buddhism. Buddhism is strongly about non-violence, right? So it's a very peaceful, it creates a peaceful atmosphere, non-judgmental atmosphere. And so, especially for women. Women have a harder time in many countries in the world. Many religions give them a hard time. But my partner, she's never felt threatened in Thailand. She she adventures around by herself, and there's never any problems, right? Now, she is a foreigner in Thailand, so it's a little bit different. Foreigners do get treated differently than local people. So I can't really speak about women in Thai culture. I don't really know enough about that. But definitely as a foreigner, female in Thailand, it's one of the safest places in the world, I would say. Yes. So, there's some big points, right? Just have a sip of tea. And so another cool thing, why I love scooter culture. I love driving scooters, right? Cars are a nightmare, right? Cars are big, they're expensive to run, they're a pain to park. They're just such a nuisance. Whereas in Thailand, it's a majority of scooters or small motorbikes, you could call them, right? And they're just so easy to ride. They're very inexpensive to run. I fill a tank for $5 and that lasts me, I don't know, like a week. Everywhere I park, I can literally just drive up to near the front door and just park a scooter and then walk in, walk out, jump on my scooter, gone. It's so easy. And of course, you're outside, right? You're outside when you're on a scooter. You've got real air in your face. You've got the real sunshine. It just feels more connected to nature, more open. And because scooters are a huge part of Thai culture, the drivers are aware of scooters all the time. So they drive very mindfully of scooters. Whereas if you grabbed a scooter in Australia and started driving around, you'd feel very vulnerable and very unsafe because drivers in Australia aren't used to motorbikes or scooters or push bikes, right? So the driving culture is car orientated. So everything's in car spaces and car rules in Australia. But here it's scooter culture, everything flows, right? So the roads flow. You can always just go around things, right? Like on a scooter, if there's a traffic jam, you can actually go up onto the sidewalk and just drive down the sidewalk. No one cares, right? Of course, you'd be respectful and let people, walk, but if there's room, you can go. That's the rules. Of course, it is it's pretty dangerous. Thailand's got one of the worst car accident fatalities in the world too. So you just got to drive really carefully, have a good helmet, etc., etc. So scooter culture, and the cool thing about scooters is they're really cheap to run. And as soon as you fly into Thailand, you can pretty much rent a scooter anywhere from a day to a month. You can then buy a scooter for cheap ones, like 20,000 baht, which is about $800, something like that. So $800, you've got your transport. You put $5 of petrol in a week, and then you're off. Right. So it's really cheap to run, and they're great. The next one, which ties into this, is the cost of living, right? So the cost of living, see if I can blow this up a bit. Cost of living in Thailand is one of the most affordable places in the entire world, for sure. And not only is it affordable, it's convenient. So you've got all the, you can go to some country like Vietnam or Cambodia, and it's very cheap, but it's a bit rough around the edges, and it's not as convenient like banking or something like that, or it's just a bit more harder to operate. But in Thailand, because they've been dealing with Westerners for 30 years, 40 years, maybe longer, they're used to what Westerners kind of expect. And so a lot of their culture is set up to be very convenient and easy, right? So that's the cool thing about Thailand, is it's affordable and it's convenient. You've got the best of both worlds. The banking's easy, the phone data is easy, the internet speeds are fast. There's just so many good things about it. And I would say that, roughly speaking, about 1,000 US dollars per month is all you need to live in Thailand. And that covers your accommodation, that covers your transport, that covers your food and internet. So, if you're in a partnership or marriage, look at maybe $2,000 for two people. If you've got a family, maybe just a little bit more. All right. One person, 1,000 USD. You won't be living, like a king, but you live pretty well, right? Everything, convenience, you have everything you need. And like in Australia, I can rent a room in a house, in a share house, for like $200 a week, $250 a week. So it's $1,000 a month for a 1-bedroom in a share house. Or I can pay 5, 6, let's say 700 Australian dollars a month, and I have my own place, my own 1-bedroom apartment with everything. A pool even, and a gym included, right? So you get your own place for less money than a share house in Australia, right? So it just makes so much more sense. Like if you've got the ability to work online, which a lot of, most people are, then it just doesn't make a lot of sense for me to live in Australia. At certain periods in my life, it just doesn't make sense. Right? Yeah. So, and I think with the cost of living, this is really interesting. When you drop the cost of living and you take the financial pressure away from people, what I've noticed is that people become creative. People start experimenting with different things. They have more space in their life. They're not freaking out about money all the time or having to work a lot just to pay the bills. It's amazing when you take the financial pressure away from human beings, what happens? And what I've noticed is, they become more creative. They become more open. They become more alive. You can try different things as well. When you've got that time and space and the lack of financial pressure, you can experiment with your art or different business ideas, or try this, try that, go here, go there. You just got space to experiment with your time. And that's why I love living in Thailand, because I don't need a lot of money to survive, and it creates a lot more space. So, every day I've got many hours where I can just do whatever I want, right? And that I can use that to spend on my business. I can try new things with my business. I can go do more fitness stuff. I can go more socializing. Like, it gives me time and space to try different things. And I see that in all the people around me too, who are living here, is that there's a special creative flair about them because the financial pressure is off. The next point is that Thailand is a warm country, right? It's warm. And warm, what I realize is warm temperature equals it's easier to feel chi. And therefore, it's actually easier to heal yourself in warmer weather. That's a general statement, but I found it to be quite true. Because when you're really cold all the time, the chi shrinks, your body shrinks, and it gets tighter and shuts down more. And that's okay if you've got a strong body and you're not sick or weak. But if you're, if you want to build your strength, if you want to heal, if you want to get pain out of your body, it definitely helps to move into a warmer climate, because the warmth improves circulation of the body. You can feel chi more. You can feel heat. And when you can feel the chi more, you can do more cool things with it. Like you're more motivated to do your qigong. Your body's not all stiff and tight, right? So you just naturally, it's easier to do qigong. It's easier to do yoga. It's easier to do all these practices when there's a bit of warmth in the atmosphere, more chi. So I really like warm weather, I prefer it over really cold weather. And I've really noticed, like my qigong is getting stronger because I can feel chi more, right? And the last point I want to make on this is that the healthcare system in Thailand is incredible and cheap, right? Dentistry, medical doctors, surgeries, medications, all these things are very accessible and very affordable, especially if you live in, around Bangkok, Chiang Mai, the main cities. Most of the doctors, I think all the doctors speak English or a little bit of English, right? They're trained in English. So it's just incredible. And, like going to a dentist to get fillings, checking, cleaning, probably costs $30. And it's not that it's poor quality, it's really high quality stuff. Some of the best in the world. There's also there's a whole industry of cosmetic medicine, that's another field. But definitely dentistry Thailand's really good for dentistry, and all sorts of things. So often people ask me about that, like how's the healthcare in Thailand? And I'd say it's one of the best in the world, and it's cheap. So I advise getting health insurance, though, if you're coming in as a foreigner, because if there's any accident or whatever, on scooters, they'll put you in hospital or fix you up, and it won't cost anything. If you've got insurance, it'll cover everything. So definitely get insurance, especially if you're riding scooters. Okay, and that's kind of, like as a wrap up, if you flew into Thailand, you can get a scooter, you can get a SIM card for your phone, internet, unlimited internet, and you can get an apartment in 24 hours. Easy, right? All you need really is cash and a passport, right? It's one of the easiest places in the world to set yourself up, right? Northern Thailand's a bit different to south, but I'm talking mainly about Chiang Mai area. And the visa situation finally, so just to quickly wrap this one up so tourist visas are very easy. You just fly in, they stamp you in for most countries, and you get 30, 45 days free. Then you sort of may have to bounce in and out to different countries if you want to stay. It's a little tricky, but I got on education visa at the moment, and that is a 1 year. So you can sign up and learn Thai language, or you can sign up and learn martial arts. It costs about $1,000. And once you do all the paperwork, they stamp you with an education visa, and you can stay in the country for 1 year. And it's awesome. And of course, if you've got more money, you want to stay, there's other visas as well, which you can invest in, and that'll set you up as well. So, that's a lot of why I like Thailand, why I moved to Thailand. Also, I had lots of different messages, like the I Ching said, was guiding me back this way as well when I was doing readings. It guided me back to Australia first and then back to Thailand to reconnect with community. Again, community is really good here because not everyone's not crazy busy and stressed out all the time. In Australia, it feels like to see a friend, it takes like 2 weeks of planning, right? Because everyone's so busy and working. But in Thailand, again, because there's more space, it's fairly easy to, connect with people, meet people. There's lots of different events and workshops you can go to, meet people that way. It really has all the essential elements to live a basic, simple but beautiful life. And so after a lot of traveling over the years and through COVID, me and my partner have decided, like, we just want to stay here. This is going to be our base from now on. So again, looking at many different countries in the world, always kept coming back to Thailand. And so, yeah, we're going to be here for a long time now. And we're very happy about that decision. And I feel finally relieved that I don't have to keep looking around the world anymore. And because everything we're looking for is here in Thailand. So if that sounds good, I recommend checking out Thailand if you have questions about it. So you can drop a comment underneath this video and I can get back to you that way. But yeah, Thailand is an awesome place and beautiful place to grow and beautiful place to practice Qigong and heal as well. So that's it for this little live. I just wanted to share a little bit of insight into, why and how Thailand. And I'll see you again next time. Thank you.